In this video, we're going to go over an advanced undocumented functionality of Input Mapper, and that is its ability to execute commands, command shell and PowerShell scripts. So to do that, you're going to need to open the profile directly. And here I have the profile that we used for our cycling profiles tutorial, which will cycle through total of 4 profiles by pushing a button to allow you to load up different, maybe you have a different profile for if you're controlling a vehicle, or a different profile if you're controlling an aircraft. This will allow you to cycle through each of those. Now the difficulty is, unless you want to be checking your light bar each time you cycle them, which is what it's currently set up as when I cycle through the profiles, you might not know which profile you're in without actually checking the profile, or you might not know which one you're changing to. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it launch an audio file, and it's going to play a sound depending on what profile is loaded. So to do that, we're going to have to open up the profile and go down to our macros section. Now you see the command here where we're loading our first profile, and after that, in between the wait and that load profile command, in between that set of curly brackets is where we're going to insert our new command. So we're going to create our encapsulating curly brackets there, and the curly brackets tell Input Mapper that what we're putting in is a function or a command, and the name of this function is going to be execute command with the E and C capitalized. And we're going to do a colon, and the command we're going to tell it to launch is going to be a PowerShell, and that tells it that we're creating a PowerShell script. Now after that, we create a bar, and that separates the command that we're launching with its parameters. So now we're going to insert our parameter, which is going to be -C to create a new script, and then we got to put the script in parentheses. Now in XML we need to escape this closing parenthesis. Rather, this is for Input Mapper because it sees these closing parentheses as the end of a previous function. So you see that all my closing parentheses are all automatically escaped in all these other functions. So we got to make sure we escape this one as well, otherwise it's gonna throw an error when we load this profile. So now that we have our PowerShell and we're telling it we're creating a new script here, and we got our brackets, now this is where the actual script that we're writing is going to go, that's going to launch the sound. So we're going to say it, we're going to say new object, and the object type is going to be media sound player. And now we can send a parameter, which is going to be the file name of our sound. Now we have to put that in quotes, and XML requires us to comment out quotes, or escape quotes rather. So we got to put backslashes in front of each of those. So now here we put in the actual file name, and I happen to have some WAV files. This only works with WAV files. There are other ways to do MP3s if that's what you want to do, but I'm not going to cover that here. But I have a couple set up already. And let's see, the first one's going to be firstperson.wave. And you'll notice that for my file path separators I double backslash because we have to escape those backslash characters too. So if you're not used to working with these strings, it's easy to screw something up by forgetting to escape a special character, or by escaping a character that doesn't need to be. It can get kind of difficult. So let's see, that's our script there. Let's see, the next thing we got to do is that loads the sound player object, and creates the loads the file into it. Now we got to execute a command on that script. So we're going to say play sync. Again, escaping the close parentheses. So that basically just tells it that once this object is loaded and populated with this file, go ahead and immediately play it. Alright, so that's the end of the PowerShell actual parameters there to load that script into PowerShell. Now we create another vertical bar and we say hidden. And that's for input mapper. That tells input mapper not to display the PowerShell when this runs, but to actually keep it hidden. So now that we have that in there, we're going to go ahead and hit save. And we're going to go back to our input mapper. And if we didn't have any errors, we should be able to cycle through this now and hear the sound. I'm going to go ahead and throw on my headphones to make sure I can hear it.
First person.
There you go.
First person. First person. First person.
Okay, so now that we have that in there, we want to probably do this for the other profiles as well. So starting at the opening curly bracket and going to the end curly bracket, we're going to copy that entire command. Oops, it looks like I included the wait. Don't want to do that. There we go. We're going to copy that, and we're going to go to right after the next profile is loaded, pop it in there, and load our different wave file. And I have one called aircraft. And let's see, we'll go to the next one right before the wait. Put this in there. I got one called vehicle. And the other one is default. Alright, go ahead and save that again. Now we go back to input mapper. Now if we cycle through these, each of these should have a sound associated.
First person. Aircraft. Vehicle.